Hello everyone, my name is Catherine and I am a health educator with the Forever in Motion team with the Saskatchewan Health Authority, and today we are going to be doing a spooky Halloween themed exercise because Halloween is just around the corner and I thought we could get a little festive and do something a little spooky. So today we're going to be going through a spooky adventure. And before we do that, we need to do our training. So let's get moving and just get moving, shall we? So if this is your first time in a Forever in Motion class with us, you will need a water bottle, clean indoor shoes that are supportive with closed toe and closed heel. You will need a resistance band, a nice sturdy chair as well. We're gonna stand up nice and tall, working on our posture. So our postures, we always review our ABCs. So abdominals are in, activating that core. Our bum is slightly tucked under, so we prevent this sway back, slightly tucked bum to help keep that neutral spine. We want to keep that chin tucked, and we want to open up that chest. Good, so ABCs, and you'll hear a lot about that throughout our class. Another thing that's very important is that we keep breathing. So we always want to keep breathing in our exercise classes. Let's add some shoulder rolls up and down. Another thing about our exercise classes, you always have the option to stop, modify, change things as you need to, taking those arms bigger. Very good. So modify as you need to, change things up, have a convenient water break. Very good. All right, let's do some side-to-side stepping, working some of those hips, opening them up. As we're exercising too, we want to make sure our space around us is safe and we're not going to have any tripping hazards. So we start with a warm-up. We want to get the blood flowing. By getting the blood flowing, we prevent any injuries from happening, we decrease any stiffness we might be feeling, and we get warm blood to the muscles that we are working so they are ready for exercise. Good. All right, change this into a hamstring curl. So be mindful behind you, curling your heel back towards your bum and adding in a bicep curl. So as we're doing this, we can still keep in mind our ABCs. So standing tall, chin tucked, shoulders back and down, tummy nice and strong. Another way that we can activate our core is by giving yourself a nice hard cough. And as you feel that cough, you might feel your trunk or your core muscles tighten or strengthen. So that's the type of similar sensation or activation we want throughout our classes. Let's do a double rep. Now double rep, this is optional. You can go back to single repetition. When we do a double rep, you have to focus a little bit more on balance. So always with anything we do, your chair is nearby and you can hold on to that chair as needed, right? Good. Doing arms or legs, anything is modifiable and you can tweak it to best suit you. All right, march it out. Very good. All right, let's take a nice little march. We're going to start by doing a little step back. All right, so a step back, first option, hands can be on your hips. We can make this as simple as just moving our foot. We can make this more challenging by pressing through with that heel, getting our ankles warmed up today. And then, if you'd like more of a challenge, we can raise our arms. So do opposite arm, opposite leg, or you can do same side, whichever works for you. It does not matter to me. as long as you're moving in a safe way. We can also do both arms at the same time. So again, you choose the level of difficulty. You choose how much coordination you want, how much brain work you want to do today. All right, one more time. Good, and bring your feet together. Next, taking a nice wide base, doing some hip circles. I always like a nice hip circle to loosen up that pelvis and those stiff hips from the morning. And opposite direction. Good. All right. One thing I like to do in this wide base is to do a couple hip hinges. So this movement is really good for the back body, opening up the hamstrings and the glutes, because sometimes we can get stiff in the back of the thigh. So we're standing up nice and tall, chin is tucked, shoulders down and back, tummy is nice and strong. And then I'm going to slightly tuck my tailbone under. If this is your first time, sometimes I like to keep my hands behind my hips, and then that really helps to open up our chest. So tummy's still strong, and I'm going to push my hips back, push, 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 and then come back forward. Again, my nice proud posture, pushing my hips back, feeling that stretch in my hamstrings. Another option, hands can be on the side of your legs, and my hands slide down my legs to my knee and coming back up. Again, my back is neutral and straight, and my gaze is slightly ahead of me, looking at the ground. Not at my shoes, but at the ground. Good, let's do one more. Good. I always like that one for some extra mobility in my hips. Let's work those shoulders a little bit more, getting them ready for some exercises coming up. So again, standing proud, chin, chest, core, shoulder blades are down and back. I'm going to raise my arms up. You can stop here if you'd like, or we can go overhead and then coming back down. The tricky part is keep those shoulder blades down and back, imagining you have a pencil squeeze between those shoulder blades. My shoulders are staying down and not hiking. Keep them down. We want a nice long neck. One more time. And down. I always like to do that one in front of a mirror because then you can see what your shoulders are doing. And maybe tomorrow if you wake up and you're like, man, I'm really tight back here on my shoulders, were you doing this throughout the exercise class? So doing it in front of a mirror, I know it's not everyone's favorite, but I really do think it helps with technique, and I do like to do it in front of a mirror as well. All right, adding in a little bit more cardio before we go into our strength training. We're going to do some marching, but we're going to change this into a 1, 2, 3 tap. 1, 2, 3 tap. So working our brain a little bit, and let's see if I can do this while talking. All right, so this is option 1, just moving the feet, doing our 1, 2, 3 tap. All right, now we can add in a punch. Good. And you probably defaulted to opposite arm, opposite leg like I did. Now if we want to make this more challenging, what if we did same arm, same leg? It feels awkward, it feels strange, but sometimes we have to do those awkward and strange things to keep our brain on its toes, keep it guessing, challenging those neurons that are firing to keep our brain active and fresh as we age. One more time. Good, and shake it out. All right, so we are going to start off by going and doing some of our zombie survival skills. So we're going to be going for a walk in this adventure, but first we need to get ready for that adventure. So we need to go to our survival boot camp and do some strength training. So first off, we're going to do a single arm chest press. So grabbing your resistance band, bringing it behind your back, and we're going to do some zombie punches because we might come across some zombies along the way. So standing nice and proud, shoulders down, tummy strong, elbows can be about 45 degrees, whatever feels comfortable for you with this one. Choke up on the resistance, and we're going to do one punch at a time. So a single arm chest press, very good. These can always be done in seated as well if you'd like to rest your legs. Good, tummy strong. We're extending that shoulder or that hand forward, slowly allowing that band to come back. And if this is not challenging for you, let's choke up. Good. Tummy strong, always breathing. Very good. Let's do a couple more. We need to keep those zombies at bay. All right, shaking that out. Coming into some shoulders, working our deltoids, we're going to be doing some lateral raises, or we could call them working our bat wings. So standing up nice and tall, shoulders down and back, tummy strong. We're going to raise our hands up towards our shoulders, slowly coming back down. Now option, you can stand on both, with both feet on the band or one, your choice. Again, finding your ABCs, raising that band to shoulder height, and then coming back down. Now imagine these are, we are strengthening our shoulders so they can help us fly away. So that's why we can call this one bat wings, because it could look like I'm flying and trying to escape from those zombies. Shoulders back and down, making it more challenging by pinching those shoulders together and focusing on that activation, and doing it more slowly will make it more challenging. Again, this one can be done seated in a chair. You just need to choke up on the band. And if your band is shorter, by all means, you can stand on it with one leg and doing one arm at a time, and you'll just need to swap out. Good. All right. Next up are our ghost grabs. So coming into a bicep curl, so same place with your feet, shoulders down and back, tummy nice and strong. We're going to turn those elbows towards me, or your elbow creases, palms towards me. And we're going to curl those hands up towards our shoulders, slowly coming down. So these ghost grabs are going to come in handy when we have to grab our stuff on our walk and make a run for it. So we're grabbing our stuff and running away, but we're doing our bicep curls. Strengthening our beautiful bicep head, this front part of our arm. Always breathing, and again, choking up to make this more challenging, putting both feet on the band to make it more challenging. Always breathing, and aiming for about 8 to 12 repetitions. I like to do a lot of talking, so you keep counting for yourself and stop when it feels good for you. Aiming for about 10 reps or 8 to 12 depending on where you are in your exercise journey. So changing this up into some tricep extension work. We're going to take our band in our left hand, bring it onto our chest. My right arm is going to grab hold of it. I'm going to bring up that arm, so my arm is at 90 degrees, and I'm going to start with a 90-degree bend in my elbow, and I'm going to extend forward. So I'm trying to swat away those zombies. Very good. Giving them a whack as they come before us, or pushing them out of the way. Whenever we do an elbow bend from this 90 degrees to straight, that's going to target our triceps, the under part of our arms. Always breathing. Good. Pressing. And you know what? We have two arms, so we're going to have to do this on both sides. So one more time, and let's switch sides. So having the band in our right hand, bringing it to our chest, grabbing with your left arm a little bit further down, bringing that band at that elbow at shoulder height, and then we're going to press forward. Good. Adjusting your technique, adjusting your grip. Good. Again, this one can be done in seated as well. Doing great. We're really going to have our arms be strong in this little precursor workout to practice our zombie survival skills. And then we'll go for that nice little walk through the spooky haunted forest, or you can make it anywhere where you want to go. That's Halloween themed, or maybe not Halloween themed if you're watching this and it's not Halloween. One more time. Good, and down. We worked our chest, our shoulders, our biceps, our triceps. Next, let's work our back. So coming into a standing row, an upright standing row, placing one foot or both feet on the band, your choice. We're going to stand up nice and tall, bringing that tubing in front of your thighs, knuckles towards me. We're standing up nice and proud, and we're going to do our grave pull. So my hands are sliding up my body, my elbows are higher than my elbows, and I lower down once I reach my rib cage or my armpit crease or the lower part of my chest. So again, keeping those shoulders down. Elbows are higher than my hands. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together as I hit the top so I can get more out of this. Good. Again, making it more challenging by choking up on the tubing. Or if today's already a hard enough day, you can loosen the resistance band and you can do a little bit less, or have a little bit of a lighter day. Good, let's do one more time. So we're pulling ourselves to safety with our nice, strong back muscles. And you know what? We're gonna do an extra bonus upper back exercise as well. So we're just going to quickly do one of my favorites. I fold my band in half, shoulders down and back, tummy nice and strong. I'm going to grab hold of the band with maybe like my knuckles touching. You can also do it with your fingers straight and then relax. So again, standing proud, shoulders down and back, tummy strong. We're gonna pinch our shoulder blades together, and that pulls the band. So as I pinch, the band is being pulled, and I'm holding for just a moment to hold those muscles, pinching them along my spine, practicing my beautiful posture. Tummy is strong as well. My bum slightly tucked too, to keep that neutral spine. Good, let's do one more. And relax. All right, shaking that all out. I believe we're done with our bands for now, or for the rest of class, but I encourage you to have some water because we're about to go for our spooky adventure. Okay. I don't know where to put this, but all right, so you there first. Okay, so we're going on our spooky adventure. First, what we need to do is we need to go for a zombie. Okay, imagine we're going on this adventure, but we might come across some things on our walk. So to start with a nice little march, Oh no, I think I see some zombies, so we gotta do some fast feet. The zombies are coming, we gotta run away from those zombies. Again, you can do this without anything in front of you, going quickly, or you can always do this behind your chair. We always want you to be safe, fast feet, but again, going at a comfortable but a little bit challenging pace for you as we do our fast feet. Getting our agility going. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, next up on the adventure, I see some bats coming. We better do some ducking. So finding your chair, doing some squats or some sit-to-stands, nice wide base, chest is proud, tummy is strong. Let's push our hips back, touch our tailbone to the chair, and then power back up. Ducking from those bats. To make it more challenging, you can lightly touch your bum to the chair and stand proud. I'm going through my full range of motion. Tummy is strong. My legs are wide. I like to push my hips back and then pretend or imagine I'm sitting in the chair. That way my knees are protected and they're not coming forward. Okay, I think the bats are almost gone. Let's do one more for good measure. Ducking and coming back up. But you know what? We need to hold very still. I think the zombies might be coming. So let's come down into our squat, and we're going to do a squat hold. So I'm hovering over my chair. So if you do need to sit down at all, you can plop down, but we're strengthening our legs. My chest is proud, my tummy is strong. I'm breathing. I'm holding very still against those zombies so they don't notice me. But you know what? I think they noticed us, so we need to come back up, shake that out, and we need to go back to doing our fast feet to run away from those zombies. So let's do some fast feet. Pick it up if you need to. Breathing, breathing. We got this. They're coming, but we're gonna beat them. And you know what? We're coming up to a gate on our walk. There's a gate. We're coming up to this house. We need to jump over the gate. So we're going to stand up and do some step overs. So again, my chair is nearby, and I'm going to do some stepping over. So picking up my one leg, stepping over that gate, bringing the back leg to step over two. Got to get back over that gate, big step, and bringing that leg over. So working on some hip mobility, some hip range of motion. And again, you can make this as big as a hip or as a step over as you like, or it could be a smaller step. But this also helps us to get in and out of the tub. Maybe you have a grab bar installed onto your bathtub area, and you can hold on to that. And you can practice bringing your leg up and over. Another area that we do this in our everyday life would be getting in and out of a car, right? Or maybe just going over an obstacle in your house. Very good. All right, let's do it one more time. Back over the fence or that little gate. Good. All right, we need to be very sneaky in this next little part. So we're going to be on our tiptoes, and we're going to be very sneaky doing some tiptoe walking. So working a little bit of balance and a little bit of calves as well. So I'm going to come up. First off, I'm at the back part of my chair. I'm at the back part of my chair. I'm going to pop up onto my tiptoes, and I'm going to walk along my chair till I get to the top. Then I can walk back, again, being aware of what's behind you, and forward. So my hand is on my chair for a little bit of extra support, or if I want to be extra sneaky or more of a challenge, I can raise my hand and not hold on, using my arms to help grab me. And you can always just pop your heels down if you need to. So again, being very sneaky, doing some tiptoe walking. Good. And depending on how you're doing, you could do this for 30 seconds, a minute, doing 10 lengths. And again, I feel my ankle joints moving. They're trying to stabilize. So this is a little challenging for me. As you can see, I'm trying to hold proud. All right, one more time, back up to the starting position. And down. All right, great work. But next we're going to do some freezing because those zombies might be coming back again, and we want to pretend we want to make sure they don't see us. So we're going to do some freezing. This time, instead of doing it on the squat hold, we're going to do some single leg balance and try and be extra still. So finding my foot planted, my left leg is planted, I'm going to pick up my toes, I'm going to drop them in my shoe, and then I'm going to have my toes scrunch up and dig in like I'm digging them into some sand. So my arches are more active and engaged, using more of the smaller muscles on my foot rather than just going through the motion. So just trying to add in a little bit extra challenge to your workout. So digging my toes in, finding my nice proud posture, my hips are level, my shoulders are level, my chin is tucked, my hand is starting off on the chair to start with. I'm gonna bring up my right foot. I always start with a kickstand, so a light toe tap, and when I feel ready, I bring my knee up. I have a soft bend in my left leg. I'm never locking out any joints. Again, your hand can be on your chair. And a little bit of moving is okay. But we just want to try and find this single leg balance. Good. Keep breathing. Let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Doing it on the other side, so shifting my weight to my left, to my right leg, picking up my toes, digging them into the ground or the sand. Nice proud posture. Hips are level, shoulders are level, light grip on the chair to start. Kickstand, and then lifting up. Soft bend on the leg that you're standing on. Good. Always breathing. Great. Tummy is strong, shoulders down and back. You can always work on pinching your shoulder blades together if you're looking for that more challenge, or try looking side to side, trying to challenge your balance a little bit more. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Good work. Coming into our chair for one of our core exercises today. Now we're almost out of the woods, but we need to stay low so they don't see us. So I'm at the middle point of my chair, sitting up nice and tall, chin is slightly tucked, shoulders down and back. Again, my tummy is strong, and I'm going to stay low. So how we're going to do this is we're going to lean back into some core tummy strengthening work and come back up. My hands are on my thighs as level 1. If we want level 2 to be more challenging, hands on your chest. And then level 3 to be more challenging is hands on your head. But as you do hands on your head, is your low back collapsing and rounding? Or are you able to keep that nice straight spine? It's tough for me to do hands over head, I feel it shaking a lot in my tummy. So I'm going to stick with level 2 because I want to make sure my back is protected and strong. And I'm always breathing. Let's take our toes and bring them slightly forward if you find your feet are lifting. Good. Let's do 2 more, then we'll take a little break. Tummy is strong. Good, and take a break. So we're gonna do another round of that. Now, if you wanna do the exact same thing you did in round 1, you're more than welcome to. If you'd like to add a little bit more of a challenge, you can join in with some arm movements with me. So sitting up nice and tall, shoulders down and back, tummy strong. We're going to lean back. I'm gonna raise my arms forward. I'm going to open up one to one side and to the other, and then bring my arms together and up. Let's do that again. Leaning back, open, open, together, up. Now making sure your low back is always strong and protected. Your tummy muscles are working. We are targeting our rectus abdominis, those 6-pack front muscles that you might see, but they are called rectus abdominis. It's always good to know what body part you're working. Always breathing. All right, last time, let's go open, open, hold. Stop when you need to, but let's hold for 3, 2, 1, and together. Good work, everyone. So you know what? Good news. We made it through our spooky adventure unscathed. You did great in the survival boot camp exercises at the beginning. They really did help us to wear off any zombies in our walk because we didn't come across any, which is great. But now we get to do some stretching to cool down our workout today. So we're sitting up nice and tall. Let's start with a hamstring stretch. Straighten that front leg, sitting up nice and tall, and hinge from the hips. Placing your hands on that bent knee, chin is tucked, looking forward, and we're feeling that stretch in the back of our thigh. Big breath in. Good, let's switch sides. Straightening that leg, sitting proud and hinging over. So Halloween is just around the corner. I think I'm going to be going as Ghostbusters. Our family is going as Ghostbusters, so that will be very fun. Our house is nicely decorated. I did that yesterday. Sitting up nice and proud. Let's open up our chest. Opening up those arms to the side, still sitting tall, chin is tucked. And the nice part about the chest stretch, you can just play with your arm placement, find out where you are more stiff across your pectorals, those chest muscles. Big breath in. Stretching out our upper back, bringing one arm across our body, using the other arm, grabbing underneath the arm or behind the elbow, and then I'm just reaching my hand a little bit further. Doing some wrist circles or wrist rotations. Keeping that shoulder down as well, not hiking. Again, a nice one to look in a mirror with if you want to just double check your technique. Let's switch sides, bringing that arm across, grabbing hold underneath our arm, and just guiding it a little bit further. Feeling the stretch across our upper back. This one's over top of my right shoulder blade. And then adding in those wrist rotations to work that little extra mobility. Very good. let's stretch out our quadriceps and hip flexors. So we're going to rotate ourselves with one bum cheek on the seat, the other one is hanging off the edge. I'm reaching my toes backwards, I'm sitting up nice and proud, and then I can either lean back, I can either raise my arm overhead, or I can take my left leg hanging over the edge and thrust it forward. So my knee is underneath my hips. And it's always good to hold on to the chair. We don't need to slide off at all. Big breath in. Knees together. Other side. So switching, one bum cheek on the chair, the other one off. Reaching those toes backwards, sitting up nice and proud. Either raising up, like slightly leaning back, or taking this knee and tucking it under. Now you can feel the stretch in your hip flexor, higher up on your thigh, or in your quadricep, which is the long muscle that runs down the front of your leg. Very good, knees together. Let's come back forward and let's do some glute stretching today. So option, sitting at the middle part of your chair or on the front edge. We're going to be doing our piriformis stretch, but how that can look to get into it easy or to ease into it. Start with one leg straight and then place that other foot on the lower part of your shin. Sitting up tall and hinging forward is option one. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can bring that leg up gradually, but it's always good to be mindful as if you have a hip replacement, your hips might not like this, so always listen to your body and be mindful of any restrictions anyone has given you in the past. Sitting up nice and proud again, and hinging forward to make that more challenging if you need that deeper stretch. And sometimes I've talked to a lot of people, they sometimes feel this in their groin, in their knee, but ideally we're feeling it in our outer hip or that left bum cheek. Let's drop that down, switching sides. So again, starting off with the lower option if that works for you. And then you can look at coming up a little bit higher if this mobility and this option works for you. So sitting up proud, and I'm going to lean a little bit more forward, but keeping in mind my back is straight and I'm not rounding or relaxing through that spine. We do a lot of work in rounded positions, so I like to think of this as working on that posture, just getting myself to remember, Catherine, this is how you're supposed to be standing. Work on strengthening that upper back, and it will help you out in the long run. Drop that leg down. Good. Let's do a neck stretch. So sitting up nice and tall, showing me your double chins by tucking in that chin, then dropping your left ear to your left shoulder. My right hand is coming down to grab onto the chair, and it's just being anchored. That's why I'm holding on, is to anchor my shoulder down. I'm feeling the stretch across the right side of my neck. And you can adjust this slightly. I like to take my gaze and take a quarter turn down, looking down towards the ground or your armpit, whatever you like to say. And it changes the stretch from this lateral, the side, to more of the back. Bring your gaze back up to neutral. Other side, sitting proud, tucking in those chins, dropping in the right ear to right shoulder, grabbing hold of the chair to anchor that shoulder. Taking a quarter turn, looking downwards. Coming back up, and let's stand and do one final stretch in standing for our calves. So this one can be done on the back of your chair. I like to hold on to it, taking my foot, and I'm taking the ball of my foot and placing it onto the back of the chair, and my heel is glued to the ground. How do we intensify this stretch? First off, I feel it here in my calf. If you need more of a stretch, you can take your hips and hinge forward or bring those hips closer to the chair. We don't want to do this. We just would prefer to bring your hips further towards the chair. Now the chair might want to run away on you depending on the surface you're on. So I'm holding the chair so it doesn't run away. You can also do this up against the wall because the wall's not going to be moving. Let's switch sides using the other leg up against the wall. Ball of my foot is up there, and then to intensify the stretch, I'm bringing my body closer to the wall to feel that stretch along the back of my calf. And whenever it comes to stretching, we're holding our stretches for 20 to 30 seconds. And that gives our brain enough time to send signals down to that muscle group, asking them to lengthen and to reduce any stretching or any stiffness, any tightness we might feel. Good, shaking that out. Well, that is it for me in our class today. I love that you joined us for this Halloween spooky themed exercise class. So thank you so much for joining me. We are going to end our class with 3 big deep breaths and then a round of applause for all my spooky souls out there. So let's bend down, reaching tall. Good, adding in a breath. One last time. And a round of applause for everyone. Again, my name is Catherine, and thank you for joining me on this beautiful day in October, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.